What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and today I wanted to talk about something that I came up with that I think is actually extremely interesting. I call this the playstyle triangle. Playstyles are actually a huge part of the game today, and although tons of people don't really understand them, this playstyle triangle should give a good explanation of every playstyle and which playstyles counter other playstyles. Now, there are three major playstyles in this triangle. The first is the passive playstyle. This playstyle focuses on farming and only really harasses if harassed first. This is the most common playstyle as it is the easiest to execute. It is fairly easy to beat, but also fairly easy to make mistakes against, so it's a pretty decent playstyle. This playstyle is more effective in competitive team play because you will die less, and in competitive team play a death will mean much more than just that 300 gold you gave to your opponents, as opposed to in solo queue. The next major playstyle is the aggressive playstyle. This playstyle focuses on being very offensive towards your opponents and trying to get kills. This is in my opinion the most fun playstyle, and you can get a lot of kills with this playstyle, which is why it dominates in solo queue, because you can get kills and control the game by helping out your teammates. The last major playstyle is the bait playstyle. This playstyle focuses on baiting your opponents into favorable exchanges for you. This style performs equally well in solo queue and in competitive team play, because it can get you kills while is also somewhat safe. Now that we have these three major playstyles established, we need to know how to play against them. When playing against a passive playstyle, you want to play the aggressive playstyle. This is because you can force trades that your opponents might not want, and you can control the lane very hard, even with just a slight advantage, which can usually lead to a kill. When playing against the aggressive playstyle, you want to play the bait playstyle. This is because aggressive players are very easily baited into bad situations because they are focusing on being aggressive and often tunnel vision. When playing against the bait playstyle, you want to play the passive playstyle. This is because a passive player will pretty much never fall for a bait because they do not tunnel vision very hard and are often focused on farming instead of getting a kill. So now that we have the counters for each playstyle, it is important to note that understanding your opponent's playstyle and then adapting your playstyle to the correct counter will not only get you kills, but it will also prevent you from dying a lot. Because if you can perform it correctly, you will control the lane entirely, and you will leave no space for death. But the triangle goes deeper. High-level players will often have a somewhat inconsistent playstyle to make them hard to predict, so we can see these playstyles by combining two of the major playstyles into what is basically minor playstyles. The first minor playstyle is the combination of the passive and aggressive playstyle. The passive-aggressive player waits for it to be completely safe, and will then play very aggressive onto you. This playstyle is much smarter than the aggressive playstyle, and much more powerful than the passive playstyle, as it can get you kills while also keeping you safe. The next minor playstyle is the combination of the aggressive and bait playstyles. The aggressive baiter uses a lot of cheese strategies to gain an advantage, because they are smart enough to use the resources around them to gain an invisible advantage, for example an XP advantage, and then capitalize on that with their aggressive play. This playstyle is very successful against players who haven't experienced or learned how to play against this playstyle, because they will fall for a lot of your baits and for your cheese. The last minor playstyle is a combination of the passive and bait playstyles. The passive baiter is very good at noticing opportunities for them to set up a play, and has very good awareness on what is going on, and how powerful someone is, so they know if it is safe or not to bait and engage. These players can be very good at teamfighting because they will farm a ton during the lane phase, and then bait really hard during the teamfight phase. Now beating these minor playstyles is much harder, because the players with these playstyles are usually much smarter and more skilled in general, so there are no hard counters to these playstyles, only soft counters. The passive aggressive player is beaten by the passive baiter. This is because the passive baiter is very patient and will be able to fake a moment where it is safe for the passive aggressive player to try to do something, and then they will capitalize on that bait and take an advantage. They will also be able to simply just bait the passive aggressive player into poor situations, especially if they can frustrate the passive aggressive player by gaining an advantage. The aggressive baiter is beaten by the passive aggressor. This is because the passive aggressor will not commit to the aggressive baiter's baits, and will be able to wait for an absolutely perfect moment because of their patience, while an aggressive baiter can get anxious and try to force a play if nothing happens for a long time. Lastly, the passive baiter is beaten by the aggressive baiter. This is because the aggressive baiter will be very unpredictable due to their crazy nature. The passive baiter will not know if something is a bait, or if they are just being aggressive and that they should be aggressive back. The passive baiter will also get counterbaited into some very bad situations by the aggressive nature of the aggressive baiter. These minor playstyles can often be seen in high elo players, as they understand the nature of playstyles and are constantly adapting their playstyle, even in the middle of games, so that they can gain an edge over their opponent. And of course, the playstyle triangle goes deeper. The only remaining option is the combination of all three major playstyles. A player that incorporates all three playstyles into their play is called a good player. Incorporating all three types of playstyles, passive, aggressive, and the bait playstyle, into your play will allow you to capitalize greatly on the strengths of these playstyles, while also avoiding the weaknesses by changing your playstyle in the middle of a game. These players are ridiculously hard to play against, and it's an important concept if you want to win. Understanding all three major types of playstyles will allow you to read your opponent's playstyle, and then counter it by adapting your playstyle at that very moment in the game. Playstyles are such a huge factor in League of Legends that often goes unnoticed. You will have a huge edge over all of your opponents if you can become the good player by understanding and being able to perform all three playstyles. So, That's it for the incredible playstyle triangle. I'd love it if you guys could support me with a like, an upvote on the Reddit thread, or some feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.